a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We love to help you win, make you more informed as a consumer. 10 years on air here in Tampa Bay, serving the community. Save our hotline number. We'd love to connect with you online at consumerqb.com. You can reach out to all of our expert contributors online at consumerqb.com as well. We got Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection in the house, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Snoop Dogg in the house. We're going to talk about the real estate market, home inspections. Also, Patrick Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors. He and his wife Annie do a great job on our real estate properties for the staging, making them look great, presenting them well online, and helping us close faster for more money with our sellers, as well as we pitch our listings on the program as well. We've got some numbers in here. Chief economist for the Realtor Association. He's got a prediction. It's not a bubble. It's not a crash. We're going to talk about that coming up here as well. And we want to thank one of our sponsors here. We have our Tampa restaurant partner, the official restaurant partner, Brio Tuscan Grill. They have excellent food. Brio means lively and joyful in the Italian, and it's fresh from scratch. Tuscan-inspired recipes. Salmon fresca, most popular item. I love the salmon salad. It's amazing. Very good. Try to eat a little more healthy these days, too. So, but the pastas are awesome, too. I love the meat sauce, the pasta with meat sauce, spaghetti. They have happy hours daily as well. Happy hour Monday through Friday. Get more bang for your buck on the food and drinks. You also have private dining experiences. They host weddings and other corporate events. And you also have catering available from Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza right here in Tampa Bay. Now, make sure you talk to Chef Oscar and Joseph, the general manager. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on the free appetizer offer. And all right, good stuff. Let's jump into a couple of hot listings here. We like to feature our listings as a strategy. We help our sellers sell faster for more money, maximum exposure leading to maximum profit. 501 Haben Boulevard. This is number 803. I love the view from this eighth floor balcony. You have a beautiful view overlooking the marina there. Riviera Dunes Marina is the name of that. Tranquil community lake here. It's a heated pool, climate control storage, under building parking. You got 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, flexible office space as well for one of the rooms. 1,543 square feet. Unit number 803. 501 Haben Boulevard. This is in Palmetto, Florida. Beautiful property in Manatee County, close to I-75. Beautiful property. You have hurricane impact windows and sliders, and the community features electric guarded gate. All right, one of our hot listings here as well, 3864 50th Avenue South in St. Pete. Now, the one in St. Pete, this is a gorgeous remodel. This property has been a complete renovation on 50th Avenue in St. Petersburg. The owners are motivated. They're working on some special financing as well to lock in a low rate for the buyer. I'll have more details on that soon. Lighter colors throughout, beautiful flooring. I love the backsplash there. You have an island in the kitchen as well. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,659 square feet, 3864 50th Avenue South in St. Petersburg, fully remodeled, including luxury vinyl flooring. The bathrooms have been updated with sleek fixtures, tiled showers, and more. And you're just a block away from the recently renovated Maximo Marina and famous Tiki Docks. You can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
All right, Jay Smith back in studio. Welcome back, sir.
Well, good to be here.
Yeah, man. What have you been seeing out there? How are things going?
Up and down. I mean, it changes every week. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, it really is. You got a weird market here with low inventory, but there's still, there's some buyer turnout. Mm-hmm. And you have, of course, 90% of Americans have this interest rate of less than 6%. So a lot of them are saying, hey, I don't want to trade that in. So, what we've looked at is ways that you can really, a couple different things. On the buyer side, you want to make sure you're doing everything you can to get your offer accepted. So we've got some tools, some tactics, some strategies there. My wife runs our team in terms of getting those offers accepted, making sure the loan officer is talking to the listing agent, making sure the pre-approval is solid. You want to let that listing agent know that this deal is going to close. It's solid. And on the flip side, for me, on the list side, most of the time, I'm making sure that the deal is bulletproof. We're going to make sure that we're bulletproofing the deal. And some of that starts with the inspection, upfront inspections as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that are happening with every house. I mean, it can be even a newer house, and there's things going on with them. Heck, I did an inspection 2 weeks ago on a 10-year-old house, and you wouldn't believe the condition it was in.
What was it?
It was rough. It was really rough.
They beat it up, huh?
Yep, they beat it up. And it's going to be a little bit of a remodel project before they put that one up for sale.
Yeah. I had one, we lost a contract on one a while back. It was about arsenic in the well. First time I've heard that. And the owner was like, no way. I had tenants living there. So we think it was a bad inspection. The company just didn't
test.
Yeah, they bad test. They didn't drain enough water out of the well before you tested it, because I guess if it's sitting in some of those things, there's plastics that can leach and things like that.
Give you a false reading or something.
Yeah, so he called the well company. The well company's like, no, we put in hundreds or thousands of these over our 10, 15 years in this area, and we've never had any arsenic in our water.
That sounds a little odd to me also.
Kind of ridiculous, yeah, but all it takes is something like that to spook the buyer off, and now they're gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that actually was that same property was under contract by a previous seller, and that never came up. They did the same test, and it never came up. Buyer just lost their job. So that's an unfortunate situation. Here's a USAFacts.org, one of my favorite sites to pull data from. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, consumer prices rose 9.1% from June 21 to June 22, the highest rate since 1981, which we already know, right? That figure is an average of prices for bananas, electricity, haircuts, and more than 200 other categories of goods and services. But households in different age groups spend money differently. So they had this infographic, was kind of cool to seeing, different age groups and where they would spend money. But yeah, inflation's up. People are hurting, man.
Well, you were talking about eating better. I understand that people, as far as the amount of groceries they're buying is less, and they think it's because they're trying to take care of themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that.
No, not at all, yeah.
But for some reason, you start eating better as age thing. I mean, we're getting old here. Yeah. Is that what it is?
Well, mix a salad in there, Salmon's pretty good, too.
Hey, I like salmon myself.
Yeah, mix it in. You get your good fats in there.
Yep. But, it's a crazy real estate market. Where it's going to go over the next couple of years, I don't know. I mean, of course, we all rumor where rates are going to go. They still might go up another quarter point before the end of the year, but then hopefully everyone's thinking they're coming down after the first of the year. But that's not a reason to wait. I mean, if you want to buy right now, buy.
Yep. There's ways you can buy down the rate. You can get a better rate by buying down. You can get seller concessions. Maybe your realtor can help you with buying rate down. Now, Lawrence Yun, he's the chief economist for the Florida Realtor. He keeps coming out saying, stop raising rates. There's, just because the job report came in supposedly a little bit better, stop raising rates. Here's his quote. Here's a quote from Lawrence Yun. It is market imbalance with not enough supply. So, of course, it's imbalanced market. There's low supply still here in Tampa Bay, Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco. They're all within a couple of points of each other. They are, it's basically an 80% absorption rate, 1.2 month supply. It's not a market of imbalance of a price bubble. There is not going to be a home crash, Lawrence told CNN. When you have a housing shortage, home prices simply cannot decline in any measurable way. While a temporary dip in prices is possible, Yun said a prolonged drop of 10 to 15% cannot happen in this tight supply market.
Exactly. And one thing is, and not that it's helped that much, but I do understand there's a little bit more supply out there. But, I mean, we're nowhere near. 1.2 months is very low. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah, you have to be to what they call a balanced market is between 5 and 7 months supply. So we're still on the far extreme side of 1.2. And then to be in a buyer's market like we saw back when the last mortgage meltdown happened in 08, 09, you had anything above 7 to 8 months supply of inventory, that's considered a buyer's market. Buyers have a better choice.
I've been hoping we just get 3 months, and we haven't even sniffed that since who knows when.
Have you seen some of those? It's funny, this world we live in now with social media and these memes and all these different things. There's one that has like an image of Florida, and it has, of course it has like the different flamingo birds and, things on it, the map, orange groves in Orlando area. But it says, "We full."
Well, did you see after the because we haven't had flamingos in our area here in the Tampa market for a long, long time, but after the hurricane went through, did you see that there was actually flamingos up here?
Oh, really?
They blew them up here, and they were hoping they were going to stay because at one time there were flamingos in the area.
That's pretty cool.
And with that going on, they're like, well, maybe it'll repopulate the area with flamingos.
Well, I've seen some wild parrots as well. They flew from down in Miami or wherever they got out of a zoo or reserve and somewhat. But it's interesting to see. That's kind of interesting how it can
see what happens.
Yeah, how it can happen. If you just joined us, we're talking with Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we talk with Jay, we like to get to the heart of what are the consumer questions. What is he seeing? What are some smart moves in the real estate space? We alluded to one earlier about a pre-inspection. So if you're listing a home and it's 10 to 15 years or older, that's a good time to get a pre-home inspection. I would say
anything over 15 years old, it'd be a good idea to get a pre-inspection.
Why?
To make sure condition, where your roof is. I mean, the roof is the biggest thing. Even at 15 years old, it can be an issue. So if you're just hiring an inspector to say, okay, there's no damage to the roof, and we think it's got 8 years of life left in it, because even at 8 years of life and 15 years old, it can be a little bit of a fight with insurance.
Yeah.
So you want to know where you are. You want that roof to be as pristine as possible in pictures, the whole 9 yards. I might go out there and just say, clean the roof off. I mean, if you've got trees around, get it cleaned up. I mean, it could be something as simple as that.
Clean the gutters out.
But just make sure she's in good shape. I mean, usually I talked about that one that was 10 years old that was in rough condition. That's rare. That does not happen very often. But that house was in poor condition, and it was a rental. That was part of it. And, for the owner to sell it now, they're just going to have a long list, which I gave them, to fix up that house.
And that's the benefit, is that you can do it on your end versus waiting for the buyer to find things, and then they want to renegotiate the contract.
Yep. Or request that you hire certain people as far as all licensed people. You may have, friends that can help you out and get things straightened out before you have to go out and hire a full electrician or any of that stuff. And head it off early so you don't have to worry about it. Another
area I see consumers making mistakes are when they go to buy a new home construction. What they're doing there is they're going to the builder, and the builder's saying, oh, well, we'll give you this special deal if you use our mortgage company, and we'll give you an even better special deal if you use our title company. And I don't know if they're recommending to use an independent home inspector.
Of course not.
Probably not, right? So that's a mistake people are making.
And if I had to make any recommendation, get it inspected. I mean, if you really want to know what's going on and get a good house and you think you're going to be in it for a while, you should have a pre-drywall inspection.
Right.
So if you've hired it and it's not a spec home that you're buying, that it's actually being constructed in front of you, and then a final inspection before you do your walkthrough or right after you do your walkthrough, one of the two.
Right, yeah, exactly. So when Jay says that drywall inspection, he's talking about a lot of the plumbing that you can still see, the wires, where the wires are pulled are still visible. Can you elaborate?
Basically, the structure's up, the roof is on, the windows are in, and they've pre-plumbed, all of your plumbing is in and your electrical is in. But no drywall, no insulation, no nothing. We can see all the ductwork, we can see all the wiring, we can see the plumbing, and give you a heads up. Even simple things, I've gone out to new construction, and they use the spray foam around the windows. And it'll tighten up the window where it's hard to operate. I've gone into a brand new constructed house that 3 of the windows were hard to move. Much easier to fix if I notated then before they put the drywall up and close it all in.
Yeah, because then you're ripping drywall, trying to figure out the holes. You're using, some of these different ways that you can do that. All right, let's take a quick break. More with Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Another great example of our expert contributors that we assemble, we vet here in Tampa Bay to help you be a more informed consumer, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1, at CQB Show, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty on YouTube. We'll be right back here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next? Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite. Sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection. Quick shout out to our friend Ramin Kazami over at Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company here in Tampa Bay. Heights Soft Wash. He does a great job. I gave him a call or showed him a text message. I said, hey, it's about that time. So once a quarter or so, I get my house pressure washed. Especially, I live in a place where there's a high propensity for midges. If you live on a lake, sometimes you know what that is. But HeightsSoftWash.com, let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Ramin Kazami does a great job, commercial, residential. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 7300 Southwind Drive in Hudson. We got a Pasco County property here. This is a beautiful home. It's got a tropical feel to it. You're on a double lot here. You got an 18 by 30-foot pool, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1726 square feet. You got a tiki bar in the back. Well-maintained. A beautiful pool here with a screened-in lanai. A nice sitting area as well. The home is well-maintained. Beautiful property. 7300 Southwind Drive in Hudson, Florida, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 1726 square feet. Perfect blend of comfort and luxury in a tranquil setting. One of our listings on Southwind Drive in Hudson, Florida. And we also have 13906 Bardmore Place. This is a Carrollwood townhome in Carrollwood. Great opportunity to own a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath property, 2-car garage, 2,100 square feet, hurricane impact windows throughout, updated kitchen, stainless steel appliances. You also have a 5-person jacuzzi and a beautiful backyard with banana avocado trees and a golf course view. 13906 Bardmore Place, Unit B in Tampa. And you can see all of the Platinum MVP team real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
And yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, good stuff here. We got Jay Smith in the house, A Snoop Inspection. Jay, we're talking about those pre-listing inspections, but you also said a lot of these home warranties will be up after 1 year, so there's an 11-month inspection that you recommend also?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times if you think you're having some issues with your house, you get an inspection at about 11 months because before the year is up, you've got to submit anything you might want the builder to address. So, you don't wait till 365 days. So about 11 months, you have an inspector come out and do a full inspection on the house. And if you have some concerns, we can confirm it. You put it in writing and send it over to the builder.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a smart move.
So if you bought a house in the last year, start looking at your 11-month inspection.
Yeah. So I looked at some of these, you think about real estate too, and we talked about the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, and a lot of the Chinese investors, coming into our country. And thankfully, in the state of Florida, Governor DeSantis has kind of put a stop to that with some of his legislation that passed.
And a few other states. We're not the only ones, not just us. I mean, I know they like to blame DeSantis on a lot of things, but we're not the only ones.
Yeah, who else was it? Like Colorado, I think. They had some Air Force bases there.
Yep.
Basically, I mean, the common sense rules saying, hey, you can't buy within X amount of miles or whatever to an actual military base.
Yep.
Our farmlands. I love this site I pulled up here. I mentioned it, USA Facts, but food inflation rate. We talked about that, but it's interesting if you look at the stat here. If you look at the actual chart, I'll just hold it up to the screen. You can see where the numbers jump there. That's inflation. That's the latest inflation. That top red line. But yeah, so inflation's up, and then why is that? Let's see here. Let's analyze that a little bit deeper. So we're talking about real estate, but also farms. Farming is real estate, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like what these solar, TECO and some of these big companies are doing, these power companies. They're buying up arable land and putting these huge bases of solar panels on the ground. It's like solar is better on a roof somewhere, something that's, maybe on top of an RV if you're traveling, but don't cover up our farmland or land where we can build homes. Yeah. And they're only doing it to grab headlines. And
it's to satisfy government. I mean, the government is driving part of that, so they're just trying to bow down and say, well, we're doing this to help you out so that they don't run them out of business. And when they ask for the increases in rates, which they've all gotten, I mean, we're all watching our energy bills go up.
Yep.
I mean, it's getting tough out there.
We're looking for a good solar company for the show, by the way. If you know of one, reach out to the program. We'd love to talk to them. ConsumerQB.com. You can call the hotline also. But here's an interesting stat, farms by type. So in 2017, there were 2,042,000 farms in the U.S., down 8% from 1997. And then it goes on to talk about how, the USDA kind of takes a look at this. So any place from which $1,000 more dollars of agriculture products were produced or sold, or normally would have been sold during a year. And then it goes on to just kind of talk about how in 2017 there were 2,042,220 farms in the United States, down 8%. So it's showing the line here, the graphic line. But we're losing farms, we're losing farmers, and it's a challenge because we have to produce these. If not, we're going to be relying on other countries, just like we did, with of course.
Well, I have nothing against the marijuana, but that's one of the things you're hearing that they're switching over to that, which means you're not producing food. I mean, I have no issue with it. I mean, you can do that all you want, but you have to have a certain amount of food being produced in this country. We can't import everything.
Yeah, and remember also when the Biden administration came out too, and they were trying to make it where only black farmers could get certain monies. Remember that? I mean, how ridiculous are they? They're so fixated on race and, going back to the previous comment too about solar, the climate cult, the things they're doing. Dennis Prager has a good line that he talks about. He says if the left really cared about the environment, it wouldn't be solar. They're wanting to switch to solar panels everywhere and some of these other windmills and things like that, which is killing whales in record numbers in the Northeast. But it's emboldening China. All those solar panels, majority are going to be made in China. So what Prager says, if they really cared and they really wanted to have sustainable renewable energies, it would be more of the nuclear plants, because they're so much safer now.
Yes, yeah, and they can build it on a smaller scale. The plant, it doesn't even have to be as large as it did at one time.
Right.
But when's the last time we built a new one? I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, because it's not in vogue. It's not into what the politicians are being pushed to do. And again, if you follow the money, it's money, power, right? Money and power. That's where it comes from. But final thoughts, Jay. We're talking with Jay Smith, a Snoop Inspection home inspector on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Been with us almost 10 years now as a expert contributor. We want you to support Jay and his company. What's your final thought, my friend?
Get them all inspected. I mean, I hate to say this, and I know you're on the real estate end, but they're still cutting out inspections sometimes to get deals. Just be really careful. Yeah. And then if you do, get it inspected afterwards. That way you can take care of something. Maybe it's a smaller problem now that won't become a bigger problem a year or two from now.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you're, that's something that you would not want to cut out. Have a quick look, get a cursory look. And, the home inspections on the new construction, existing, they all make sense. And especially pay attention to the roof and the breaker box.
Yep, exactly.
All right, buddy. How do you want people to connect?
You can give us a call at 813-345-2600, or you can look us up online, a-snoop.com.
a-snoop.com. You can see Jay Smith there, as well as consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. You can pull down his website and information there as well. Jay Smith, longtime friend of the program, a Snoop Inspection, another great example of our experts. They come in and they educate, entertain, and we want to engage with you, so that's where you reach out, and we love to have those conversations with you as a consumer advocate, put you in the right touch, whether it's attorneys, CPAs, financial advice, self-defense, so many different ways we help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, we're going to talk interior design and home staging. Patrick Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors here, coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at CQB Show, at Brandon Rhymes 1, YouTube.com, Brandon Rhymes Realty, online at consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make